being on the cutting edge must have been very exciting, when you're doing things that people haven't done before. But I'm sure there's also possibly a little bit of frustration that when things don't necessarily go as just maybe tell us a little bit about being in that space, in the engineering space. You're doing something that's pioneering, but also what comes with the pioneering nature of the project is the fact that at certain times you'll maybe hit roadblocks and have to take a step back and find a different path.
Yeah. So with the 787, it wasn't just a leap in terms of material technology and assembly processes. The 787, as is widely known, also has a new and more efficient systems architecture.
Yeah.
And this too was cutting edge.
Okay.
So in that role, not only was I working to support production, building, the physical structure of the airplane, we were also integrating systems.
Okay.
Hydraulics were entering the airplane, electrical systems. So because this was new-ish technology, now this wasn't groundbreaking technology, but this was new technology in aviation, in large commercial aircraft. And because this was a new site and a new product, from time to time there might be challenges in terms of just rediscovering, issues.
Yeah.
We were also integrating parts from different suppliers. Imagine, next time you walk on a large commercial airplane, imagine one where each section is coming from a different supplier in a different part of the world, and then see how complex this thing is. And now imagine the complexity of integrating all of these components into one cohesive product. So there were challenges early on in terms of just, getting the entire aircraft with all these source components to fit. But we got there. And I was on sort of the leading edge of the engineering team in the production space that went through these early challenges.
Okay. And so a few years after that, you took on a role as a field service engineer. Could you maybe explain for the audience what a field service engineer is?
Absolutely. This is, I would say, the thrust of my career that sort of led me to where I am today. So, while working to support production for the 787, the final assembly and delivery site was established in South Carolina at the time. And I was part of the engineering team that delivered the first 787s from Boeing, South Carolina.
Okay.
And I was on the flight line at the time. Now, keep in mind, I had worked structures, I had worked system integration, I had also worked final assembly, putting the wings, the engines together, putting the interiors together, turning on the airplane for the first time, fueling it for the first time, running the engines for the first time, and then supporting, the very first production flight tests. Now, you'll notice that I had seen every aspect of putting this airplane together and flying it.
Yeah.
In terms of breadth, there aren't too many people who were fortunate enough to see the breadth of the aircraft production process as I did. And again, I was fortunate. And at this time, I had my commercial license. I already had one type rating. I was also fortunate to receive a 787 type rating. I was trained to fly the 787 as part of my engineering support role. Right. Because we were supporting production flight tests, and it was beneficial for engineers who were supporting production flight tests to understand the different issues that would be faced in flight. Not that much different from seeing and fixing structural issues. Now, we fuel the airplane, we fly the airplanes, there's going to be some issues. There's going to be lights, in the flight deck. There's going to be systems that don't work as expected. So it was necessary to have pilots who were engineers who brought that experience to bear, solving production issues with production flight tests.
Okay. So then all of this, I guess, to the question, the field service engineer is you were based with a customer. Was it one customer or multiple customers?
It was one customer initially. So with this experience, the aircraft entered service in 2011. So 2011, 2012, 2013, first 2 to 3 years in service, as you would expect with a new model, new technology. There were some reliability and operational challenges. Yeah. So engineers were pulled. We already had a core of technicians that were supporting our airlines around the world, and engineers were pulled from production to sort of boost those numbers and have more people out there. So I was identified, and I was sent to Ethiopia, onto the continent. And Ethiopian Airlines had a number of 787s at the time, and they would benefit from someone coming in with sort of hands-on experience and knowing the airplane really well. So this was my integration into field service. Now, one really interesting thing, at the time, I was sort of, just this nerdy engineer. I didn't really know too much about the business side of aviation. And I thought that the field service core was sort of something that we did as a company out of an abundance of charity, right? Like, we're being nice. Hey, here's technicians to help you with your operations, right? But later on, I found out that it was part of a transaction. An airline comes to, an OEM and says, "I'd like to purchase an airplane." And as part of the deal that's crafted around the purchase of an airplane, there are a number of things. There's training that's offered. There's and one of the things is, if you buy our airplane, we will support you in many ways in your operations. And one of those ways is we will station experts at your home base to help you with operations. I didn't know this at the time, but this is something I would learn later on.